Television has expanded so much that there's like thousands of channels all over the world, and it's a global platform now. People are able to watch various mediums of television, various forms of it, all over the world, and so it's really opportunity for the traveler to go and visit places, and people to hear about places that they normally wouldn't have heard about. So we've kind of, this medium of television has kind of brought the world into our living room, so to speak. And, there's various...
Hey, what's going on? I'm here in another chat of Let's Talk Tourism. And now I have a guest, Alfred Haywood. He is focused on tourism and marketing as well, TV tourism. And he's going to talk a little bit about his history, a little bit about what he's currently doing with his agency, and also topics relating tourism, marketing, and how mediums are transitioning. So Alfred, I appreciate your time, and it's a pleasure to finally meet. It's a pleasure.
Okay, well, it's nice to meet you too, Felipe.
Yeah, so of course, a pleasure. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what is your background? How do you get into this space of tourism and also television and marketing and things of that nature, please?
Okay, well, I've been in the marketing business for over 20 years. I used to work in a radio station in Philadelphia, WDAS. I was an account exec. Recently had moved to Florida, and then was still continuing to do the marketing and advertising for various businesses. And during the pandemic, I was on LinkedIn and I saw a person named Denella Ri'chard who was starting a travel show, and she was on a streaming network. And when we first saw her, we knew she has a wealth of experience and she was very talented. And so we contacted Denella, and she lives down here in South Florida where we live, where we're at, Fort Lauderdale. And we connected and we started producing her show, putting it on various platforms. And the first season was an at-home edition. And second season, we were putting her on the South Florida local TV stations down here. That was season 2. Now we're at season 5, and we're now a nationally syndicated travel show. We've been all over the world. We've been to Ecuador. We've been all over the Caribbean. We've been to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Port St. Lucie, New Orleans, and several other destinations around the world. And so as we enter season 5, we were, let me just back up a minute. When we first started broadcasting in season 2 during COVID, people thought we were crazy. The world is shutting down, but we had the belief that people still wanted to dream about traveling. We believe that people that spend money traveling create lasting memories, create relationships. You can buy a brand new Rolls Royce, but in a few years, you're going to have to get it fixed. But when you travel around the world and you meet different people and different cultures, it really has an effect upon you as an individual, because the people you meet, the places you go, you create memories with your loved ones or just the people you meet. And we thought that those creating those memories was important, even in the midst of a pandemic. And so now we're at season 5. We're going back out. We've got Antigua, Martinique. We're going to be doing a Disney cruise. We're going to Alaska and Seattle. So, we're a travel show that's just continued to grow. People still want to travel. People still want to be able to go to different places around the world. And our TV show has just grown expeditiously. It's just blew up. And so now we're, like I said, in season 5, we're a national syndicated show. We have a few shows that are going to be broadcasting this fall. One of the shows is a Jewels of the Caribbean. It's a 1-hour special. And then we got a weekly travel show that we'll be broadcasting nationally as well.
That's amazing to hear, Alfred. It's interesting, like you said, since the pandemic started, I think even before, people always with digital mediums like TV or any mediums, we always seen the vision of ourselves being in those spots. So I think that's why it contributed to your guys' success, especially in pandemic when everybody was kind of missing out of traveling. I think that's a plus for you guys. So what's the name of the travel show for anybody that's
it's called Traveling with Denella.
Traveling.
We have a website called travelingwithdenella.com. We haven't been to Mexico yet.
Hey, you should go.
And I'm hoping Felipe that you can help us out there.
Yes. There's I'm originally from Nayarit, Mexico.
Okay.
So have you been there?
No, I have not. Sad to say.
Do you know where it is in the map?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's something that I've noticed with a lot of people that I have interacted. They don't know that state, so that's kind of my purpose. I'll definitely send you, or I'll at least give you the contact, so then they can help you out and
Right.
do the connections. Yeah, so that'll be pretty good because it helps us as well, to get promoted and
absolutely,
get our name out there.
Absolutely. We're a travel program that is unique. We have a host, Denella Ri'chard, who's a very beautiful sister, who goes into the destinations, and she doesn't go to the tourist places. Like when we went to New Orleans, we didn't go to Bourbon Street. We went to some of the side streets where the small businesses are. Those are the people who are hurting during the pandemic. So we've been supporting small businesses, family-owned businesses, the mom and pop stores, the arts and craft places, the outdoor spaces, because travel has really changed. Over the years, a lot of people, when they thought about traveling to the Caribbean, you saw a picture of a bunch of people at a poolside, knocking back shots and, crowded areas. But now we go to secluded areas. We go to places where a whole bunch of people aren't gathering, where you can enjoy the natural beauty of whatever destination it is. And so we put a different spin on the destination. And we don't go to destinations trying to tell our story. What we do is we ask the destination, what do you want the world to know about your particular place? What are the things that you want to feature? If you have, we work with tourism boards and PR firms, and if they have partners that they're working with, whether it be a hotel or a restaurant, we'll go and view those places. And there's a lot of food, but there's also a lot of activity. Denella has swam with the sharks, swam with the pigs. She was in Ecuador on a swing that's considered the edge of the world. So she's very adventurous. She loves to go out and experience the destination just as a tourist would, so that's, we get involved and engaged so that the viewer sees what's going on and the opportunities that the various destinations offer.
Exactly. That's something that you mentioned, very important, that I also agree that the pandemic changed the habits or the tastes of the tourists. They want a little bit more of what is natural, what is actually happening, and avoid the all-inclusive, all the resorts, things of that nature, that lose that essence. So I also noticed that you have a tour, the Wiggins Agency. What is that focused on, if you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, the Wiggins Agency is owned by a gentleman by the name of Don Wiggins, who's been in the broadcast industry for over 50 years. He's owned the radio stations, worked for iHeartMedia, Clear Channel, Cumulus
Okay.
Radio. He's worked with all of the major radio broadcast companies throughout the country. And he lives down here in South Florida now. And I work with him. I actually worked with him in Philadelphia. And when he moved to South Florida, a couple of years later, I came down to join him. But the Wickens Agency is a full service marketing agency located in Lauderhill, Florida. We handle a variety of clients, including Denella. We also work with some churches. We do a lot of work with the local politicians. He just got back from a trip to Haiti to visit an orphanage that we're working with a local church to help build up support for an orphanage in Haiti. And so we do a plethora of different things.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I also I asked you that question because I want to ask another one related to that regarding TV marketing or television advertising. What is your take? What do you think that this is still an important medium for the travel industry? You know, what are your...
Well, because, people want to see the different destinations. And they don't just want to see the tourist places. They want to see the small, off the beaten path places. They want to know where the restaurants are, where is there either snorkeling or scuba diving, where can you get a yacht? There's, we visited places that offer yachts in St. Lucia. We've been to St. Martin and Martinique. So, we offer the viewer a chance to visit this destination through the eyes of a travel expert. Denella has really an extensive background in travel. She's traveled all over the world all her life. She worked with some of the major players in the travel industry, such as Holland America, Norwegian Cruise, Hilton. So, and then she also has a background in broadcasting. So she's a sister from Louisiana. So she's got Southern charm, and she just presents the destination in a fun, charming way. And it really is taken off.
Yes, I see. Yeah, the thing is that with anything that you're going to do regarding travel, I think it has to be informative and educational as well. It has to be, but entertaining as well. You have to educate the people. And also try to make the viewer have a good time. I wanted to ask, what do you think is the future for television, and how it distributes its mediums, its content?
Well, right now there's all kinds of different television. There's on-demand streaming. There's linear television. There's, television has expanded so much that there's like thousands of channels all over the world. And it's a global platform now. People are able to watch various mediums of television, various forms of it all over the world. And so it's really opportunity for the traveler to go and visit places, and people to hear about places that they normally wouldn't have heard about. So we've kind of, this medium of television has kind of brought the world into our living room, so to speak. And, there's various mediums that television uses to show different destinations. But I still think that people, like Anthony Bourdain and Rick Steves, they travel places and people are interested in what they're doing, the places they visit, the foods they eat, and just to travel to, because what it does is it makes the world a smaller place. And it also allows us to experience various cultures without, having direct information. When we as a world can learn about each other and learn about each other's cultures and traditions, I think it makes for a better world.
Yes. Okay. Now I see the way you mentioned television. It just has evolved. Yeah? It branched out of just like the analog
Right,
transmission, and now it's
right,
OTT, things of that nature. Huh?
right. Well,
So that's
I remember when they only had black and white TV, so that's how old I am.
now that you mentioned that, I wanted to ask you, like, how has regarding tourism, how has tourism evolved from when you started, when you started promoting it through the radio, things of that nature?
Right.
How
Well,
did it transition the habits, things of that nature of the tourist and also of the receptive community? What is your take on that?
well, coming out of COVID, when the world started opening back up, so to speak,
Mhm.
and even before then, people were still traveling, but they needed to know how to travel safely. What were the protocols? What was required when you went to different destinations? So we were able to provide real-time information. If you needed a COVID test to get on a flight to go somewhere, you get tested. What were the certain protocols? Because everybody had something different. So now that the world's opening back up, every destination in the world is vying for visitors. They're looking for tourism. And so you got everybody from Paris, from France to Honolulu, Hawaii, looking for people to come and visit their destinations. So what it's created is it just kind of exploded. And when you hear about the airlines, they can't even keep up with the number of people that want to travel these days. You hear about all the cancellations. You hear about people staying at airports for 8, 10 hours just trying to catch a flight home. Or so the travel industry has kind of been bombarded with the high demand and not having the capacity to fulfill the demand as much as it is. And people are still traveling. If you look at the recent numbers, the TSA has broken a bunch of records for the number of people visiting airports. And that's just airports. But, the cruise ships are back. They're no longer, they changed their protocols about having vaccination cards and so forth. So as the world opens back up, there's kind of a pent up demand for people to, that just want to get out and and experience different destinations in the world again. People feel like they've been locked up in their homes for a couple years, and so now this is, we're experiencing the aftermath of that.
Yes, it has become like a higher demand than ever before. I wanted
Right.
to ask, that is a good observation. I wanted to ask you, like back way then, like in the 80s, 90s, the difference of tourism, how it was developed, or the habits of the tourist from like
Well,
the 80s, 70s to like what it's currently now.
yeah,
What has shifted? What is the main differences that you can?
I just think more people are traveling. I think years
Okay.
ago, there was a certain group of people who were traveling. There were certain
Okay.
people who had discretionary income,
Hmm.
people who were retired, they had time to travel.
Hmm.
Uh, People were locked into work schedules and office meetings, and there was a lot of more business travel than there is nowadays. And so, as the corporate world has changed and the culture in this country has changed, more people are looking for uh, to travel, to get out from their normal routine, go to different places. Family reunions have increased because people are understanding the importance of having family connections. So people are traveling around to college graduations, family reunions. There's a lot more people that are engaged in the travel industry. Obviously, the rates for travel have kind of leveled out, even though they're getting a little higher now. But
Mhm.
I think more people made it more of a priority for them to travel and get around to different destinations and discover the world.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that basically tourism has opened up too many people. Huh? It's just more opportunities for people to travel, and I think that even it's funny that certain trips are cheaper on an airplane than on a bus, or the
Right. Oh,
same
yeah.
price. Huh?
Oh, absolutely. Well, when you got like JetBlue and Sprint and them coming into the market, they offered low fares, and people just wanted to go. And so with this recent merger of Sprint and JetBlue, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the airports when they get together and you know rebrand themselves as a new airline, new competition in the field.
Exactly. Competition is always good. Um,
Yes.
I wanted to ask you like one last question. What do you think is like the future of tourism and marketing as well? What do you think is going to happen as new technologies merge and things of that nature? What is your perspective of regarding
Well,
that?
I think the travel industry will continue to grow. As we become a more global society, we're not just focused on this country, but there are other places in the world that people are seeing, as news reports of various places around the world, people are able to see different cultures. And I think as we as a society expand, as we grow the population with the different people coming into the country from different places, I think tourism will continue to expand. I think even recently I saw that some people are building a space hotel.
I wasn't aware. I've heard they were going to do they're starting to do now with what is it, Amazon, like the Blue Origin kind of space travel, but I didn't know about
well, 20, 30 years from now, there's going to be a hotel parked above the earth, and you can stay there for a week or two. They'll have all the amenities of a regular hotel, but you'll just be in space. You'll be able to look out. You'll be able to look out your window and see Earth.
But by then we'll be in Mars, no?
Who knows? Who knows where we'll be?
So that's kind of an interesting future that we're still in the making. That's very honest. Alfred, I really appreciate your time. It's a pleasure to talk to you. If anybody wants to contact you or wants to be a part of what you're doing with the travel show, or maybe contact yourself, what contact information do you have?
My email is Alfred, ALFRED, at the THE Wiggins Agency, WIGGINS agency.com. And my cell phone number is 215-869-0368.
Perfect. I'll add them on the video on the top just so people can know that, and definitely be a part of that travel show and see what the world offers you. That's a window, a portal to what you can experience yourself. Hopefully, that's the goal.
Hopefully our show will come to Mexico and we can interview you in person.
Hey, that'll be a pleasure. Definitely. I'll see if I can contact you with that person that I think can help you, and then when it happens, let me know, and I'll take you some spots that I think are pretty good.
Okay, great. We're looking forward to that.
All right. Thank you for watching this chat of Let's Talk Tourism. Hope you learned something about tourism marketing and what the world is out there, and don't miss out on that as well. So have a good one, and
all righty. All right. Thank you, sir.